Alright guys, for the first part I'm going to start with my leche part of the cake. So it's going to take 3 milks, which is obviously the name of the cake. So I'm going to do evaporated milk for the first part, and you're going to do a 12-ounce can, the full can. So just put it in your blender. And then for the second milk, you're going to do sweetened condensed milk. And I have a 14-ounce can, but I'm only going to use half. So 7 ounces. The store that I go to doesn't sell the little cans of this, so I'm just gonna measure it by eyeing it. So just pour it in. And this stuff is super, super sticky. A little bit more. And that's good. So half of that. And then you're gonna wanna do a cup of heavy cream. Just pour that in, and then we're gonna blend it up. Alright, so this is what we're left with. It's just all mixed together really good. You don't want to do it too long because then the heavy cream starts to turn into whipped cream, and you don't want that. So you just want it liquidy like that, and then we're gonna go ahead and refrigerate it for at least 30 minutes. Alright guys, so now we start the cake. And it is a super simple vanilla cake base that we're going to start with. And then we incorporate the milks, and then we incorporate some strawberries that I make. And so it all comes together and it makes one delicious, awesome tres leches cake. So here we go. So we're going to do 2.5 cups of cake flour. And for this cake in particular, it's very important that you use cake flour. So 1 cup, 2, and then a half. And then I do have my sifter and then a bowl. That way I can sift all of my dry ingredients. And then in this bowl right here, I have a teaspoon of baking powder, a teaspoon of baking soda, and a teaspoon of salt. So I'm gonna go ahead and just throw that in there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and... Alright guys, next we take our butter and we just throw it in. And remember, it has to be softened. If we put hard butter in or melted butter in, game over, it's a mess. And then we're going to do a 1.5 cups of sugar. So, and I am I'm putting my fitted spatula into this to mix it, because I think it's better. You can use whichever one you prefer, but I like my fitted spatula. There's 1 cup. Alright, 1.5 cups sugar, our butter, and then we just mix until it's nice and creamy, and then we're gonna add in our eggs one at a time. Alright, so this is the consistency that we want. Nice and creamy. Now we're going to start adding in our eggs. Alright, so we're going to add in our eggs one at a time. And then you're going to let it mix until it's all nice and mixed, like super well. And we're going to do that with each egg. So there's 3 eggs, so we'll do that with each of them. And then once we're done with that, we'll add in some vanilla. Alright guys, all of our eggs are mixed. You can see it is now nice and smooth and like a whipped cream type texture. So we will go ahead and add in our vanilla. let that mix in nicely, and then we'll go ahead and start adding in our dry ingredients. Alright, so dry ingredients first. You want to have it on low because it will kick back. A little bit of wet. And again, very slowly because it will kick back. And that's all you're going to do is just keep alternating. Dry ingredients to wet, dry ingredients to wet. And you want to do this as fastly as possible. I know I just contradicted myself, but you want to do this as quickly as possible because you don't want to overmix your batter. So, dry ingredients, wet ingredients. That's it, guys. So I'll go ahead and finish this up, scrape down the bowl, mix it up manually with my scraper, and then we'll get to pouring. As you can see, I have a lot of mixture on the side of my bowl. So I'm going to go ahead and use my scraper just because I don't want to overmix my batter. So I'm going to go ahead and use my scraper and just scrape it down and then just manually go in there and mix it up. So just literally, I'm going to go ahead and do this and then just scrape everything off. You can see there's still like a ton of flour up at the top. It's okay, don't worry about it. You're gonna get it. So just get in there and then just gently start folding. Okay, our batter's done. I'm gonna go ahead and start pouring into them. Before you pour into it, make sure that your pan is coated with something. So I use butter and flour. So I just take a stick of butter and I coat the entire pan, and then I just put some flour in it. You can use the same cake flour that you used for the cake, or you can use regular flour, whatever you want. And then just put it in the bottom of the pan, pat it around, make sure that it's evenly coated. That way your cakes come out without breaking. So we're gonna go ahead and pour this in now. And I am making a small cake. We'll pour it about halfway into the pan. Alright guys, so we are gonna get started on the strawberries that I put into the cake. So on top of the cake I usually do fresh strawberries, and then on the inside of the cake I make like a strawberry jam, strawberry, I don't know what you call it, I can't think of the name right now. So what I use are, of course, fresh strawberries, some sugar, a little bit of lemon extract, and then I use lemon zest. So finished cutting up all of my strawberries. There was a lot more than I thought, and they were very tiny, so it took me quite a while, but it's okay. In that time that that it took me to cut up the strawberries, the cakes finished baking and the oven got away from me, so they are a little browner than I would like, but it's okay. They are super moist, as you can see, and it's the cake for us guys. Don't worry about it. My hands are clean, everything is clean, everything's good to go. So as you can see, the cake is super moist. It's not crispy, it's not anything like that. So we're good to go. I have the other one already in the oven. It's on its way. So now we are on to our strawberries. Okay, so heat on, strawberries on, and naturally they're going to start releasing their own sugars. So you're going to start to see some juices start producing. once they get a little bit hotter. So for now, let's add in some sugar, and don't measure, guys. I don't measure. I want to say maybe like 1/4 of a cup, a little more, probably a little more. So mix that in, and it's okay if you mash them. It's preferred if you mash them, the smaller the better. And the word that I was looking for earlier was reduction, so I'm making a strawberry reduction. It was driving me crazy. When I was cutting them up, I was thinking and thinking and thinking, and then it popped into my head. So strawberry reduction. So we are going to just mix in all of that sugar, and then you can already see the juices starting to form. So that's exactly what we want. We just want all of that juice to come up, and then when all of this is ready, we will put it in between the layers of the cake, and then it is with the mixture of the milk, the strawberries, the cake itself, the frosting that I make with it. I'm not a big sweets person, but this cake I'll eat. It is amazing. No wonder people are always requesting it. So, alright, back to it. So, mix that in. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add in my lemon extract, and that's about 1 teaspoon of it. So just pour it in. And then I'm going to take my lemon and then just zest. Alright guys, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how I did the last two. All I did was use my serrated knife, bread knife, whatever you want to call it. You can also use the cake cutters, and it's basically like I have one, I just don't want to go pull it out. It's like it has like a wire string across it, and you just kind of fit it across and cut the cake like that. That's the easiest way to do it. I like to use this. Everybody has their own methods, so just cut at the seam of the top of your cake, and then just try to cut as straight across as possible. With this cake, it's super easy because it is super small, so I can easily eye it. So just cut straight across, lift, and that's it. So you should be left with a flat. Alright guys, it's time to make the frosting. So super important tip, make sure that your bowl that you're going to use to make the frosting is chilled. So I left mine to chill. This is the next day, so I left mine to chill in the fridge overnight. So I'm going to use 4 cups of heavy cream. Just going to throw them in. About 3/4 of a cup to a cup of confectioner's sugar. A teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then we're going to let that mix. And then right before our peaks start to form, I'm going to add in some mascarpone cheese. I don't know how to say that word. And that's just to give it an extra little surprise flavor. So there's our sugar, there's our extract, and then I'm going to fit it with my attachment here. Then we mix, and that's it. You start it on low and then increase your speed to higher. And that's it, guys. Alright guys, so our peaks are about to form, and I'm going to add in about 4 ounces of the mascarpone cheese. Let's just say that. So you're just going to take little dollops with your spoon. And throw it in. And then once you're done adding in your 4 ounces, just let it keep whisking and then let it peak up just like it normally would, and then it's done. Alright, so it's done. So what you want to do to test it is just kind of swirl it, and if it peaks and if it doesn't fall, you can kind of like do this. Takes a lot to get it to fall, and then it's ready. You don't want to mix it too much, because if you do, it's going to separate and then it turns into a watery, gooey mess. So that's it. That is our frosting, and I guarantee you guys are going to love it. Alright guys, our cakes are completely cold. All I did was use a dowel to poke holes into the cakes. That way when we pour our milk into it, it completely like soaks into it. So that's what I'm gonna do. I just put the milk in here. That is completely cold. Like I said earlier, put it in the fridge for at least 30 minutes, if not longer. So all you need to do is just pour it, and then you'll start to see that it's gonna start soaking in. And then when it starts to soak in, you can go ahead and go through and pour some more. You don't want to over soak them, because then they become super mushy, and I don't like, well, we don't like that type of tres leches. But if you are the kind that likes, the type of person that likes the tres leches that's super wet and super soaked, I would definitely recommend that you make this cake in the sheet cake form. That way all you have to do is poke the holes and then pour the milk over it. That way it completely soaks into it, and then the milk stays in the dish itself, and you can leave it like that. This way it doesn't do that. It kind of keeps its form and it doesn't stay mushy. So see, the milk is already soaked into the cakes, and the way that I test for how much I want to put in it is I squeeze the sides of it. So I just squeeze the sides to see about how much I've put so far, and that's how much I know I want to put. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some more. That's it guys for this. It's gonna just soak in. Put it in the fridge for a little bit longer, just so that it truly soaks in and sets properly. And then we'll go through, put the strawberry coating on it, put the frosting on it, and then I'll decorate it, and then we will be done. Alright guys, so our cakes are set. Put a little bit of frosting so our cake doesn't move. Put our first layer down. We grab our strawberry filling. Put it on, and you don't want it all the way on the edges because it will overfill. So like that is good. Once you put the other piece on it, it will complete. You grab your frosting, put it on top, and you can use a piping bag if you want. But put it on top. You put your frosting. You get your other layers, and you just start layering. So that's all you're gonna do is get your first layer, your reduction, you put it on, and then you put your frosting, and then you put your other layer, your reduction, your frosting, your other layer. So that's all you're gonna do is just pile it on, and then you're gonna frost your whole cake and then decorate it however you want, and then that's your cake. So I'm gonna go ahead and decorate it and frost it, and that's it, guys. That is our tres leches cake. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will go ahead and show you guys the final piece of how it shows, or how it ends up. Hope you guys enjoyed this. It's super simple, super delicious. Like I said, everybody requests it. Yeah, hope you guys enjoy it. Bye, guys.